Hi, this is Carolyn, and we are on So You Want to Write a Novel, day 3. Congratulations if you've made it this long. I'm very proud of you, whether you've written a word or up to 10 pages today. Maybe you've written more, maybe you got inspired. That's okay. This is day 3. Day yesterday was day 2, in which we wrote pages, in theory, 5 to 10. Again, if you wrote less than that, then just percentage-wise understand where you're at and which module you should be listening to. But for the sake of argument, right now you are on page 10. You finished 10 pages 5 through 10 yesterday, and we are looking at page 10 to 15 of your novel. We are still, if you look at your graph, we are still within the character's old life. It sucks. The last 2 days we have been very careful to make sure that, and not, I just said that and I didn't mean it. No, you wrote organically. Hopefully what you did was right consistently about, and if you didn't, it's fine, but you wrote about the character and making sure that the character was consistent and lived up to that one name: brave, cowardly, scared, whatever the one word is that kind of defines your character. You reinforced that for 10 pages. You also showed that the character's life sucked, and maybe some of the reasons for that, maybe what the character's wound is, why he needs the medicine that is opportunity. Now, that opportunity is going to come very shortly. You're halfway at this point through the old life. We are going to be ready for the opportunity in about 10 pages, so in today and tomorrow. If you are like, oh my God, I've got like 50 more pages to go on the old life, you are grossly overwriting the old life. You are thinking too much, you're giving too much detail. We really don't need to know that much about the old life. We really just need to know, who is this character, why should we care about him, and why does his life suck, so that we know the change and that the change makes sense that's about to come. That's what you're doing. If you are not feeling like, yeah, I'm about halfway through doing that, then again, you're probably over. Now, maybe you're underwriting. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm 10 pages in. I feel like I need the opportunity right this second. Now, there's times when I bring the opportunity in earlier, is because I do think in 10 pages I've shown it, and just we're at that precipice. That's okay. Go and listen to day 5, which is the opportunity day. That's okay. Sometimes we do. Sometimes this very old life is not very exciting and not very interesting, and we're there already, and sometimes I will underwrite that a little bit. Not underwrite it meaning I don't have enough words on the page, but I will just bring the opportunity in a little bit sooner than maybe I would normally do, and that's okay. If that's your instinct, go for it. Otherwise, we're going to be concentrating on pages 10 to 15, and these pages are a continuation of the others, which is the old life. Hero's life sucks, and we should be seeing more and more evidence of that and really hitting home. Now, don't hit me over the head with it and don't be a broken record, but definitely how untenable this life is, just how crappy, and it just doesn't feel right, and it's just wrong. And the hero is so much better than this life. The hero should be a hero. Why is he stuck in this, like Ripley? She's in this stupid holding thing, and she's got a cargo. She's transporting cargo. Ripley is such a bigger character, that she's such a bigger person, has such a bigger heart than that job. And she's being tormented by the nightmares. And that isn't fair to our hero. We want a life that is just too small and too confining and too petty in many ways for the hero. So that's what you're going to be doing today, is really showing us so that we're ready to leave this life by the time we leave it. By the time the opportunity comes, we're like, oh, thank God, the opportunity is here, because we need to get out. We need to save this hero. We need to get out. We need to save this hero. We're so grateful for the opportunity. Usually the magician comes. The hero may suffer a loss as well during this time. It may be a loss of a job. It can't be too big, though, because that's really what's going to catapult our hero in to the opportunity. But certainly we can just see how incredibly lame this life is, and that his life is getting worse. It was already bad, and it's just getting worse. He just has a crappy life, and he can't catch a break in this life. That is perfectly fine. If we think of The Abyss, because James Cameron does character and plot intertwined very well. If we look at The Abyss, we see that, Ed Harris has a pretty good life. We're seeing a slice of it, that he's very good, he's efficient, his staff, his crew like him. but romantically, he's really kind of barren, and he's kind of shut down, and he's just kind of dog paddling through life. And the opportunity comes and saves him from that, and really opens his heart back up again. So we need the hero a little shut down, but not boring. And that's a hard that I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna put bells and whistles on that. It is hard to make a kind of downtrodden hero not downtrodden, not depressed and boring, an old life that sucks, but doesn't suck to read about it. That's kind of the art of this. And don't worry, if you're writing and you're like, oh my God, I think this is boring and I just don't know. That's okay. Just write organically, do the best you can, and that will come with time. These pages are some of the toughest pages you're going to write because it's the beginning of the story. You're probably just finding the character. And don't worry, if you don't know the character and don't feel the character yet, that's okay. I always think I know my new characters, and then I get to the turn of Act 2 to 3 and I put them in the darkest hour. And then I go, oh, that's who they are. And I have to go rewrite the whole book because I really wasn't as deep inside that character as I'd like to be. So don't stress. And maybe you start him out as super heroic, but you want to start him out cowardly. This is your book. And again, you're experimenting. You're figuring things out. These 5 pages may suck. The previous 10 you wrote may suck. They may not work. You may have to rewrite every single word of them. But guess what? You got the bad stuff out, right? That's how I always feel. Okay, I did the characters wrong. I know that didn't work. And that is important knowledge. So whatever knowledge you get out of these pages is important because it's going to take you to the next level and the next step, and take your characters to the next level and the next step, which obviously is the whole point of this. And the only way you can write better is to write more. The only way you can know your character better is to write more of him or her. That is the only way. So don't get discouraged. I'm telling you, every problem you're having, I've had. Every problem you're having, probably the vast majority of every writer in the universe has had. Stephen King probably had this problem. J.K. Rowling's probably had this problem. So don't worry about it. It is part of the process. This isn't an indication you're a bad writer. It's an indication that you're a beginning writer. And we all start at the same place, and we all make the same mistakes. You're probably writing way too much passive voice, and you're probably telling way too much than you should, and your dialogue may be clunky. Okay. All right. We all went through that. You're going through it too. You're human. You're fine. Okay. So today we're working on, hopefully, page 10 to 15. Tomorrow will be 15 to 20, which will be preparing for the opportunity. And the opportunity may actually come on the page, at least start to come on the page at that point. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. I really wish you absolutely the best. I want you to have a great day writing. Notice I didn't say writing well. I never wish you that because you may not be able to do that. I know if I wished myself writing well today, I don't know, 5 out of 10 times I'd be wrong. So I just want you to have fun with it. I want you to learn. I want you to experiment. And I just want you to get another 5 pages or how many pages you can write down so that we can fix them at a later time. We just have to keep moving through. You are not going to understand a book until you've written a full book. You're not going to understand a book probably until you've written 4 or 5 books. But at least let's get this book done and under your belt before we decide to have a catastrophic, I can't write. Just know. Until you have seriously, if you write 10 books and each and every one of them sucks and never gets better, maybe then I'll concede, probably not, that you're a bad writer. Okay, so until we get to then, just tell your inner critic to crank it down. We're going to mute that inner critic and we're just going to have fun and write. Hopefully 5 pages today, and I will see you tomorrow.